it's Adam with the Pattaya News. Today is December 12th, 2023. Thank you for tuning in. And today I wanted to do our usual recap of the top events that happened over the past week, as well as what's happening in this upcoming weekend here in Pattaya. And by the way, this upcoming weekend, we will finally see legal 4 a.m. opening, at least in central Pattaya. We're also going to talk about some tragic deaths that took place over the past week of some famous people. But first, let's go ahead and get into what is happening this weekend in Pattaya in terms of events. Now, first up, the biggest event that's taking place this weekend is the Jet Ski World Cup. This is taking place every year for quite a few years now, even during COVID, although they banned fans from the stadium. That is not the case this time, and they've also moved locations. In prior years, the Jet Ski World Cup was located directly across from the Jontian Night Market. But of course, that area doesn't have an expanded beach and was somewhat limited for actual people and for the stadium and crowds. This year, they've moved to where they're actually holding a lot of events recently in front of Soy 12 across from the Now Hotel and the Pizza Company on Jontian Beach. And it is the biggest setup they have ever had. There's plenty of room for fans, so you can go and check that out. It actually starts from midweek on the 13th, but the biggest days and the days that people like to see with things like freestyle and the biggest races take place over the weekend on Saturday and Sunday, with the award ceremony taking place Sunday evening. A complete schedule and a complete article can be found on our website. Also taking place this weekend is the Wonder Fruit Festival. This has also been a regular festival for quite a few years, except for COVID in Pattaya, taking place out near Siam Country Club. Now, this is a ticketed event and a limited capacity, but it's huge and brings a lot of people camping out and from Bangkok for several days for this event, which celebrates all sorts of culture, arts, and different causes in Pattaya. We'll be there over the weekend, and we'll give you some sneak peeks of what it's like behind the scenes for those of you who cannot attend that event. Also, we'd like to call out two events taking place from the private sector this weekend, but that you can attend if you wish to. Also from our sponsors, Pattaya's Ultimate Christmas Party takes place this Saturday, the 16th, in Pattaya. We're going to put how to get tickets. There's still a few left in the details. You don't want to miss this. They're going to have a huge orchestra. All sorts of celebrities and elites from around Thailand are coming for this. The Ultimate Christmas Party. We're a sponsor. Check that out, taking place this Saturday, the 16th. Also taking place this weekend from another one of our sponsors, the Barrel House, which just opened at the Pratamnak intersection on Deposit Road, and replaced a former place there, is taking place on Sunday evening, the 17th, from 8 o'clock p.m. for the public. We'll be there also, and we hope to see you attending. Now, let's jump into the top stories for the week here from Pattaya. Now, first up, 4 a.m. closing. Man, this has been fought about for years on whether or not they will allow venues to be open at 4 o'clock a.m. in Pattaya. Now, I'm going to be real, I'm going to be honest, and let's be blunt. Plenty of places have been open till that time already. It is what it is. I mean, it's not a secret. It's a horribly kept secret if it is. And many of the places are already open. That being said, it wasn't legal, which brought in raids occasionally or claims of inconsistency from venues and officials letting some places, allegedly, open late, but not letting other places do it. Now, according to officials, everything is on the same page. This 4 a.m., by the way, takes place in only a few places, including Pattaya, including Phuket, Koh Samui, Bangkok, and it also takes place in hotels. That's actually across the nation in hotels. But in terms of bar districts, those are only limited areas. Now, in terms of Pattaya, this is not all of Pattaya. So our expat viewers who are out on the dark side or Jontian or Naklua, those areas are not currently included. Right now, the areas included for 4 a.m. closing, and this is a test, so it may not be permanent, is from 3rd Road all the way to Pattaya Beach, all the way to Bali High Pier, including Walking Street, and all the way to the Dolphin Roundabout. So basically, all of central Pattaya will be allowed to stay open till 4 a.m., at least through the holidays as a test. Of course, officials have been out reminding people to make sure that they follow the rules. Now, that brings me to the next thing. Speaking of the rules, the National Alcoholic Beverage Commission has stated that bars will have to breathalyze all customers leaving venues and make sure that they don't try to drive home alone on their own. And if they are over the legal limit and are planning to drive, they need to provide a sobering up area, yes, I'm being serious, where they can sober up no matter how long that can take. There's been a lot of debate about whether or not this will be enforced. I'm going to kind of leave this to imagination and let you guys put in comments. Do you think this will be enforced? Do you think whoever came up with this rule has been in a club at 4 a.m. and has maybe experienced, as a former bar manager I have, has experienced what it would be like to stop somebody who's had about 20 drinks and tell them, wait, we need to breathalyze you, and wait, you're over the limit, you can't leave, and how that conversation will go? Again, I'll let your imagination work right there. Now, in terms of some deaths that took place over the past week, there's been 2 tragic sudden deaths that have taken place. One was by a gentleman named Natapanu, and we did an article on this that got a lot of reaction both on our social media and website. This gentleman was famous to many foreigners because during the COVID-19 crisis of 2020 to 2021, he was the voice of COVID for English speakers, expats, English tourists in Thailand, providing daily conferences for almost 2 years every single day, many of which we shared in fluent English. He was seen as very compassionate, knowledgeable, and concise about the information, and really helped a lot of expats with all the confusing rules and everything happening during that time. He also was always a big proponent of fighting for expats and foreigners in Thailand, even working on things like trying to repeal 90-day check-ins and making sure that foreigners were on the same page in terms of rights and other things in Thailand. He will be sorely missed. Also, just passing away yesterday, was Pattaya's permanent secretary, Pramod. He was very well known in the local community, and he had a reputation as a very humble, calm, and compassionate man. He will also be missed, especially here in Pattaya. For our next topic, I wanted to talk about soy buakaw because we get a lot of questions about this. In terms of soy buakaw, we reported a couple weeks ago that the city was looking at trialing it being a one-way road. We got a lot of different reactions. We did a poll on it, and the majority, by about 67%, said they supported making it one-way. Now, there were some people vehemently against it, too, and that's fair. Everybody is welcome to their opinion. But now we're getting people asking, when is it going to be one way? We don't know. That's the truth. If we don't know, we don't know. What it appears to be is that the plan is on hold or pause right now because it's high season. There's people here everywhere. And it appears that the plan to trial it before New Year's and Christmas has basically been put on hiatus until after this crazy season ends, and then they will likely trial it. Stay tuned here to the Pattaya News. We'll keep you updated for when this trial actually begins. Which brings me to my next topic, Jomtien Beach. They also talked about making parts of Jomtien Beach one way, but they did not specify exactly where. Now, it's been speculated by many of our readers, not by us, we don't do speculation, that this could be in areas like Dongtan Beach or, of course, Na Jomtien. We'll see. But Na Jomtien is getting busier every single week, as many of you know, because for instance, in Na Jomtien, that's where they're doing all the events now, just before the entrance to it. And there's an extremely popular market that's located there, the so-called Lighthouse Market, that's busy every single night until late, right near that area where they hold events. So we'll see. And some good news, though, they also recently installed all sorts of new lights, 10 in all down the Na Jomtien Beach after many complaints that the area was not well lit at night. However, many people have asked, what about trees? They were originally talking about planting trees in the area. This is still possible, but there's been no information released on whether or not this will happen in the near future. Last but not least, I'm just going to touch very briefly on it because I get asked about this every day when people see me. What's the deal with expats and tax in Thailand changing the tax laws? It's all speculation right now. Don't panic. We don't know is the bottom line. As soon as after the high season ends, they will probably specify this a bit more. There's been a lot of nervousness about this, a lot of panic. It's not aimed at foreigners. Could it affect them? It could, but it's all speculation. A lot of people are getting very upset over speculation and it not being finalized. As always, guys, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your support. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe for regular updates right here from Pattaya.